welcome back to our Back to Basics real estate education series. Today we wanted to cover how showings work. So you've identified a place that you want to see, you've met with a realtor that you like. What happens next?
So one of the most important things is to think about the scheduling of your showings. So of course you want to show up on time. Just be aware that when you're going to a showing, there may be tenants there or the owners that have left for that specific period of time. It's really important to be on time. And if you're going to be putting in an offer potentially, that may set the tone with that seller. Also, just think about if you're going to be seeing multiple properties at once, think about organizing them geographically. Now, your realtor should be doing this as well. You want to make sure that you can get to each place within a few minutes. It does take usually about a half an hour for each showing. So those are a couple things to be mindful of when you're going to your first showing.
On the topic of going to multiple showings in a day, you really want to dress appropriately. That especially means wearing comfortable shoes that you can slip on or off easily, because most places you're going to go to, they're going to ask you to take off your shoes. It's polite. You're in somebody else's house.
Absolutely, and there's nothing fun about having to spend 5 minutes tying up each shoe with laces up to your knee. So just think about comfortable slip-on shoes.
So Adam, is there anything else that you should bring to a showing?
Yeah, so you want to think about having the tools with you needed to properly assess the place that you're potentially going to buy. So you want to think about having your phone with you if you need to take any videos or photos for later reference for yourself of that place. Think about bringing a tape measure. You want to make sure that your furniture is going to fit in the space properly, the layout's going to work out for you and your family or just yourself. And then think about bringing a notepad, pencil, jot things down as you're going through. If you're seeing 3 to 5 places back to back, you're going to forget little details. So just jot down some notes. That way you've got everything you need to properly assess afterwards. That brings us to another good point. What should we do after we've done the showing?
Right, after you're done the showing, it's time to really assess, maybe break it down a little bit. So during the showing, you can always come to your agent with questions too, and hopefully they have the answers. But if they don't, they'll take the time afterwards to research some of those, come to you with some of those points, and maybe help form a decision on the place. And it's important during that process too to remember to be open-minded, be thoughtful about the place. Mm-hmm. The paint color on the wall, for example, that can always be changed. That backsplash you don't like, that can be changed, and fairly easily too, right?
And especially too, like I've had experiences where I've viewed empty places, and for whatever reason, you might think that they look bigger in that regard, but they actually sometimes can look way smaller. My pre-construction condo, for example, my husband and I snuck in there when it was being built, and I was kind of like, oh my God, this is small. But once we had all of our stuff in there laid out with our artwork and we made it functional, it actually felt quite spacious. So keep an open mind.
And just remember too, take your time at the showing. You'll typically have a half-hour slot booked, maybe more, where you can really go through and explore the house, right? It's your time to see everything. Feel free to go back to rooms and spaces that really piqued your interest.
Exactly, and feel free to knock on the walls and look at the cracks in the basement and just make sure that you're comfortable with everything that's in that space.
Mm-hmm. And your agent should be there with you to identify some of those potential pitfalls or bonuses that they see as well.
So these are some of our best tips and tricks when you are going to showings with your realtor. We hope this has been helpful, and this will make the process much easier, we think.